Thank you. We're have the whole team here. We're very excited about today. That one and only one of our players has made a 100% decision of what he would like to do with his future. We have a lot of options. I'm sure that our 5 seniors as well would like to be as sure as what they're doing in their future. But Trey Burke has made a decision that we are supporting 100%. So, Trey, come on up.
Good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate you all for coming out today. And as you all know, over the last week or so, I've been, faced with a decision to either, come back to Michigan, for my junior season, or to go to the NBA draft. And after talking it over with my coaching staff and, my parents and the ones that are, that I trust the most and that I know has my best interest, I've decided to declare for the 2013 NBA draft and forego my last 2 seasons here at the University of Michigan. It's always been a dream for me to play in the NBA. Growing up as a kid and having a desire to have an NBA career one day. Now that it's here, I'm definitely fortunate and blessed. And I'd like to thank God first and foremost for, his wonderful blessings, allowing this day to come and just allowing me to be the athlete, and not only the athlete, but the person that I am. And I'd also like to thank my coaching staff and my family. Coming here, my first 2 years here in Michigan, I've came into another family, and I've been able to say that these guys are like family. My coaching staff and my teammates as well. We faced so many challenges this year together, and at the end of the season, we've came all together and we learned how to make a run. So I'm happy for my decision, and I thank you for that.
At this time, we'll take questions from Coach Beeline and Trey. Nick Baumgartner, you start out. Chris Ballas has the microphone.
Oh,
Trey, can you talk about how your relationship with Coach Beeline has kind of evolved and how hard this decision was for you?
My relationship with Coach Beeline has evolved, incredibly. When I first came here at the University of Michigan, they started recruiting me late. So, once I first got here, I realized, how good of a person he was, not only a coach. And, he held me accountable for some of the decisions I made. It's allowed me to grow up over the last year or so, and it's allowed me to be the young man that I am today. And it was definitely a tough decision. After making it all the way to the national championship and, coming this close to winning the national championship, it's a tough decision to, forego your last 2 seasons at a great university in Michigan and, to not be able to play with these guys anymore, to not be able to be coached by the coaching staff. It was tough, but I just feel like it was the best decision for me.
I'm sure you've done your research over the last couple of days. What kinds of things have you been hearing from NBA scouts and things? And what was maybe the thing you heard that pushed you over the edge for this decision?
Well, as far as research, I'm not really sure where I stand right now. I'm, somewhere probably, top 15. That's what I've been hearing, but I'm not really sure. And as far as like the thing that pushed me over the top, it was just, I think it was just the right time. It's the right time for me to, take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of me. And, after talking it over, like I said, with my parents and coaching staff and things like that, those guys they won't give me wrong advice. They felt like it was the right decision. They felt like either way would have been the right decision. But at the end of the day, they helped me make this, this large jump.
John, there's a lot of players who've had their footprint on this program since you've been here, but where would the program be today if Trey wasn't here?
Well, he certainly came in at a very important time, especially with the fact that Darius Morris had gone pro and we were virtually without a true point guard. And I think we all know this is like going into a season without a quarterback. And little do we know that he would provide such great leadership and talent at such an early age. So he filled a great void and did it as well as anybody here ever has done. And it's been a huge part of the success we've had. I don't know what his, do the math quickly, but it's pretty darn good, his record since he's been in the starting lineup.
Trey, is there one lasting memory, maybe one game or one moment? Is it the Kansas game maybe? Is there one thing that you take away as what your legacy is going to be here?
I don't think it's just one moment. You know, the times that I've had with, you know, my teammates and coaching staff, you know, it's more than just one moment. You can't just pick out a moment, you know, that I could just say was the moment that I'll remember more than anything. You know, this season definitely, and just how we ended up coming together at the right time, just because we loved each other on the court and off the court. And you know, it's a bond, you know, that'll never be breakable, you know, between the coaching staff and my teammates. And I don't know, just the run that we made at the end of the season, you know, going all the way to the national championship, the different experiences and things like that, that I'll always remember with this team. You know, we call ourselves Team 96 because we're a special team, and you know, I'll love these guys forever. You know, they'll be brothers to me. The coaches are like father figures that I can, you know, call when I need some advice and things like that. So it's a lot of memories, really.
John, a simple question, but maybe not a simple answer. How do you replace Trey Burke?
It's going to be very difficult because of the things he brought to the game for us. The incredible competitive edge, I think. I think it's called, John Wooden called it competitive greatness that he brought to our team. Forget about the position. The work habits that I think when these freshmen came in this year, and they're looking at he and his teammates and how they work, coaches don't have to tell them to work hard. They see it right in front of them. But the position is always a difficult one. It's the quarterback position. You feel really good about Spike Albrecht and what he's done, and Derek Walton coming in as a freshman. But a lot of our guys are going to have to step up in many ways, and we have no doubt that they will. They're big footsteps to fill, but we feel very strongly we have the guys that can really assist us in that.
Coach Beilein, obviously Trey, you know, had a decision to make last year too at this time, and he decided to come back. Can you talk a little bit about his focus this year, and is that sort of the model that you'd like to see from your players?
That should be the model for any young man. And if you just look at this situation, and who knows where this will all end up this year after the draft is done, but he came back with really a fire in his belly to improve his game in the areas that he thought that he had to improve in, and the coaching staff thought he had to improve in our research with the NBA general managers and scouts, what he had to work on, and he just went to work. And there wasn't one time that I felt that he was playing for the NBA, not playing for Michigan. And you know, anybody that decides to come back after they consider it has to have, if they want to be successful at both of those stops, they have to have that same attitude he had this year. And that's, you know, he probably thought about it from time to time when Coach had him going to study hall or had him going, you know, up in the morning running or doing something. But at the same time, his focus in practice and game is how can I help Michigan now? And it was the right formula to help his career in the long run.
John, obviously you're sad to see Trey go, but you said before, a long time ago, a couple weeks ago, that this necessarily isn't a bad thing, bad problem to have. Can you talk about what this means, you know, for the program? This is what it's for. Right?
Here's what it says about our coaching staff, and you look at the guys that are with us. This young man was not highly recruited. I mean, by the facts of it, not a top 50 player projected in, barely made the top 100, and those things are was such a challenge to him. And an opportunity for him to show what he really had inside of him. But you don't do that if you don't have Lavelle Jordan and Jeff and Bakari working with him every day. You don't have that. And the development program we've established right here with young men is a tremendous problem to have when they develop this quickly and have these opportunities. So Trey's chosen to take this opportunity he has in front of him, and it's all good. If a young men we still do not want men coming to Michigan without, and we want to unpack their bags. You're here, and if something like this opportunity comes up, well, then that's your opportunity. But we're going to do everything we can to make sure they can have both opportunities, both the degree or what Trey has in front of him now.
Trey, is this still surreal at all, knowing that next year you're going to be playing in the NBA?
Sort of, yes. At the same time, I'm still still, just like my teammates, I'm sure, trying to get over the loss, against Louisville. My mind hasn't shifted, if that's what you're asking. I'm still kind of like in the college mode, and I'm just going to cherish this moment. Really, it's a great day, not only for me but for my teammates as well, and I'm just happy.
Trey, just to maybe, I don't know if you even know this yet, but do you know what your timeline's going to be as far as the next few weeks? Do you stay here? Do you immediately go to workout places?
Well, I'll finish school first. Finish school first and foremost, and just try to leave this university the right way. And after that, I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't have a timeline set today. I'm sure that will be something that I will do here in the next couple of days, and sit down with coaches, parents, and things like that to come up with something.
And John, the fact that you've had guys leave the past, two, I guess now what, 3 of the past 4, has that helped you with dealing with how to deal with all
It
this?
helps you as you plan your recruiting, that you have to understand this is always a possibility, whether it's great things like this or people, Michigan not being the right fit for some young men, that you have to be flexible and you have to continue to recruit and make sure that you have enough replacements or high enough character young men that the recruit is as seamless as you can make it.
John, is it easier for you to go through these processes now than it was when you first did it a couple years ago?
I think that you learn a lot. It doesn't make it easier, no, but I think you learn a lot. I mean, I went back through it with a little bit with Dior Fisher and Kevin Pittsnoggle back at West Virginia, and so that was my first taste of it. We didn't have that type of talent at Richmond or Canisius, and but now I think that we have a better understanding how it works, although it continues to change. And like I said, we do our research now all year long, and this one says that if he wants to do this, has both feet in, don't look back, son, and go do it. So it's been helpful. And my staff, can't tell you enough about our staff and everyone here, how much they help in this.
We'll take a couple more.
Trey, excuse me, when during the process, I assume you talked to your teammates and talked back and forth, and I don't know if you got feedback. Do you now talk to the other young guys that are considering it and give them feedback? How does that go?
Just give them my advice. Either way it goes, I just try to give them my advice. This is a tough decision. Looking at it from the outside in, you don't understand, everything that goes into this decision. So everyone, they face different issues when trying to decide what you want to do. So, like I said, I just try to give them the advice that I have, the advice that I took last year, and help them make the right decision.
Did you tell your teammates in a kind of a meeting together, and what was that event like? Was it pretty emotional?
Did I tell them that I was
you were leaving?
Well, they knew before. My teammates, coach staff knew before. Everyone else knew. So it was kind of. It wasn't really a meeting, but we were around each other so much off the court, and after coming back from Atlanta and things like that, I talked to them about the decision, but like I said, they knew pretty much before everyone else did, and they needed to. These are guys that I played against in practice every day, that I faced challenges with each and every game. So these are my brothers.